So again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today. And we're going to go dive into Session 3 of the Poli-Si Counterintelligence Training. And this is the Targeted Survivors Quickening Guide. So again, take a moment to just feel your feet on the ground, your breath moving through you. You are here and you are present. And that presence is already a powerful act of resistance in a world that seeks to pull you away from yourself. Beyond the looking glass and the Science of Poli-Si is honored to stand with you on this journey together. A journey to reclaim your cognitive rights, your personal agency, and your sovereign human spirit. We are in a multi-dimensional war. It's not just out there in the world, it's in our minds, our bodies, and our hearts. As targeted survivors, you know this too well. The chaos, the uncertainty, the relentless loops of thoughts that keep you stuck, recycling pain, fear, or powerlessness. Those loops are rumination, and they're not your fault. They're the mind's response to unresolved conflict, to survival stress, to a world that is trying to strip away your agency. But here's the truth. You are not powerless. Your mind, your body, your spirit are all yours to claim, to organize, and to govern. Today we're not just talking about survival. We're talking about thriving through clarity and coherence. We're here today to build a mental workspace, a space where you can sort through the chaos, reject what doesn't serve you, and redirect your thoughts toward empowerment. Using the Poli-Si self-governing, active learning, defense, and response model of thought and non-dual somatic approach, we bring the mind and body together as one. Because in truth, there's no separation between the two. Your body holds wisdom, and your mind holds power. Together, they are your greatest allies in this fight. This workshop expands on last session's resonance mapping for building an advanced encryption system, a cryptographic mind, and sophisticated neural network, cyber-secured, through the development of mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will coherence. This session is about taking action, active learning, active defending, and active responding. Today, we build our mental workspace like an office with files and tabs to organize thoughts. We're building this in stages, just like the resonance map. This practice today is about reflecting, rejecting, and redirecting the recursive loops that keep you trapped. And you'll discover how to anchor your strength in your body using somatic tools to ground and protect your mind. You are here because you are ready to claim your cognitive rights, to say, this is my mind, my story, my power. You don't have to do it alone. We're in this together. So let's take a deep breath. Feel our combined strength and step into this work with courage. You are not just a survivor. You are a sovereign being. And today, we sharpen our tools to live that truth. Rumination, as experienced by targeted survivors, is the repetitive, often involuntary cycling of negative thoughts, emotions, and unresolved conflicts that trap the mind in recursive loops. These loops are a hallmark of the psychological and emotional toll of surviving multi-dimensional stressors, whether from external targeting, systemic pressures, or internal struggles. For survivors, rumination is not just overthinking. It's a defensive mechanism gone awry, perpetrating a state of survival stress that amplifies complexity, uncertainty, and vulnerability. This process locks the psyche in a cycle of overwhelm, powerlessness, and victimhood, creating a chaotic mind that feels like a cluttered, unimaginable space. So we're going into the mechanics of rumination. Rumination emerges when the mind fixates on unresolved conflicts and perceived threats tied to a traumatic experiences and ongoing stressors. For targeted survivors, these include memories of violation, feelings of betrayal, and fears of continued harm. The mind, in its attempt to protect, engages in repetitive analysis, replaying events, emotions, and what-if scenarios as a way to seek resolution and control. However, the backfires as the lack of resolution fuels survival stress, triggering the body's fight or flight response. Over time, this creates a feedback loop. The mind ruminates, the body stays in heightened state of alert, and the cycle reinforces itself. This prolonged state of insecurity has profound effects. First one being disassociation. The mind employs suppression, consciously ignoring emotions, or repression, unconsciously blocking them, to cope, leading to a disconnection from the self. This can manifest as numbness, detachment, or difficulty assessing emotions. The next we can experience is emotional overload. The constant recycling of negative thoughts overwhelms the psyche, flooding it with feelings of powerlessness, shame, and fear. This overload paralyzes decision-making and erodes agency. Rumination creates a chaotic mind by scattering mental focus, making it hard to prioritize or process thoughts clearly. The mind becomes like a desk piled with unsorted papers, and in my case, Post-it notes, where every thought feels urgent and unmanageable. And the impact on targeted survivors, for targeted survivors, rumination is particularly insidious because it mirrors the external war we are facing, a war fought on psychological, emotional, and cognitive fronts. The recursive loops keep survivors tethered to their trauma, reinforcing a narrative of victimhood. This is not a personal failing, but a natural response to prolonged stress and uncertainty. The psyche under siege struggles to find safety, and rumination becomes a default mode, recycling pain instead of resolving it. The state undermines cognitive sovereignty, the right to govern one's own thoughts, and perpetuates a sense of being trapped in one's own mind. So breaking the cycle, a non-dual somatic approach. To address the rumination, survivors must bring unconscious patterns to the surface and reorganize the mind for clarity and coherence. The solution lies in non-dual somatic self-governing model that integrates mind and body to reclaim agency. Organizing the mind as a workspace. Envision the mind as an office where thoughts are sorted into files with tabs. For example, a file labeled fear might have tabs for specific triggers, a memory, or a person, while the file labeled strengths might include affirmations or moments of resilience. This mental filing system externalizes chaotic thoughts, making rumination visible and manageable. By categorizing thoughts, survivors reduce overwhelm and create space for intentional thinking. So reflect, reject, and redirect, the 3 R's. Reflect is to pause to identify the ruminative thought. Ask, what am I looping on? Where do I feel it in my body? This brings awareness to the cycle and its somatic impact. For example, tightness in the chest. And then reject, which consciously release thoughts that reinforce powerlessness. This involves somatic practices like deep breathing, shaking, vocalizing to discharge stuck energy. And redirect replaces the negative loop with a coherent, empowering thought. For example, shift from I am not safe to I am building safety in this moment. Pair this with a somatic anchor, like placing a hand on your heart. And somatic integration. Rumination isn't just mental, it's embodied. The body holds the stress of recursive thoughts and tension, rapid heartbeats, and shallow breathing. A non-dual approach treats mind and body as one, using somatic tools to ground and regulate. Practices like slow breathing, gentle movement, and body scans help survivors reconnect with their physical presence, interrupting the mental loop and fostering a sense of safety. The path to cognitive sovereignty. Rumination thrives in chaos, but a structured somatic approach dismantles its power. By organizing the mind, grounding in the body, and governing thoughts through reflection, rejection, and redirection, targeted survivors can break free from recursive loops. This process restores clarity, coherence, and agency, allowing survivors to claim their cognitive rights, the right to a mind that serves them, not traps them. Through this work, the chaotic mind transforms into a sovereign space where thoughts are tools for empowerment, not weapons of sabotage. Should we take a pause for any questions or move on to the next section?
Whatever you want to do. If anybody wants to chime in.
I have a question. And please forgive me, I came in a bit late and I may not have heard you say this. What is the source of material you're reading from right now?
The Science of Poli-Si. It's a science that I created based on psychology, neuroscience, quantum mechanics, multidimensional physics, and philosophy.
Okay. I have strong background in these things, and I would love to connect with you one-on-one to maybe talk at those more advanced, nitty-gritty, detailed levels at a later time.
Sure. You can email me at quantumrealitystudies@yahoo.com and give me your best time available. I'm Eastern.
So quantum reality studies, and what was the rest of that?
At yahoo.com.
At Yahoo. Okay. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
We created I don't know if you know anything about what we're doing, but I'm sort of doing the sessions intuitively based on my conversations with targeted survivors during the week and judging where we are based on the material that we've been bringing forward.
Okay. I can appreciate that approach. It sounds like we have a similar approach in that I take it as a God-led activity, so I go with the Holy Spirit and what God is bringing into my life each week.
Exactly.
And I just put the email in the chat as well, so you can confirm you have it stated correctly.
So, Emily, do you want to go ahead and do a reading?
Sure, yes. All right. Clarity equals coherence equals transformation. The healed version of you doesn't fight fire with fire. It becomes still like water, reflective and immovable. Emotional clarity is the subtle yet profound strength that offers the ability to identify, understand, and process complex emotions that guide us to responding through free will choice. Not reacting impulsively through the lower instinctual, animalistic, programmed ego mind. The healed version of you doesn't need to retaliate or outmaneuver any person, situation, or circumstance because clarity itself is the process that transforms. Read that again. Clarity itself is the process that transforms. Just like water is adaptable and unyielding, it's also reflective and unstoppable. States that anchor into emotional intelligence enables us to navigate conflicts with calm precision, affording us the opportunity to conserve energy and focus on what we can control. What we think and believe, perceive and intend, how we feel, the words we speak, and how we act, react, and respond to all life circumstances. This is self-governance in action, the active process of self-reflection, emotional honesty, and self-accountability. The power of emotional clarity stems from the interplay between the mind, body, and brain. By enhancing our ability to pause, reflect, and respond with intention, we take control of the autonomic nervous system by working with negative feeling states, cognitive dissonance programming, and the nervous system's fight, flight, fawn, freeze, survival responses. Emotional clarity engages the parasympathetic nervous system by promoting a calm, rest and digest state. The vagus nerve is a key player in this system. It regulates heart rate variability, HRV, measuring emotional resilience. By creating a physiological state of stillness, it's the same as water's immovable nature, while conversely reactive emotions like anger activate the sympathetic nervous system, triggering fight or flight responses that drain your energy. The brain's ability to rewire itself allows for emotional clarity to become a habit. Present moment self-awareness, mindfulness, self-inquiry, journaling, and resonance mapping strengthen the neural pathways associated with calm reflection while simultaneously weakening the ties to reactivity. These practices increase prefrontal cortex gray matter density, reducing amygdala activity, and over time making clarity a sustainable state. The root cause of visceral reactions is our perspective and how we interpret the events that shaped our thoughts, which then in turn trigger visceral reactions. It's our interpretation of a situation that determines our emotional response. For example, viewing a slight as a personal attack sparks anger, activating the amygdala and releasing cortisol and adrenaline. These physiological changes, racing heart and tense muscles, create low-frequency states of stress and chaos, draining mental and physical energy. Unhealthy thought patterns like resentment and contempt amplify this cycle. For example, rumination is dwelling on negative thoughts that in turn keeps the amygdala hyperactive, leading to intrusive thoughts that dominate your psyche. Rumination predicts increased depression, anxiety, and anger, reinforcing contemptuous thinking habits just like drinking poison. Chronic resentment elevates cortisol levels, impairs cognitive flexibility, and weakens the immune system. The body bears the brunt, manifesting in a myriad of conditions. Contempt is basically a toxic blend of anger and disgust that's poisonous. It's a relationship destroyer that harms the thinker through cynicism and disconnection. Neurologically, it sustains sympathetic nervous system activation, keeping us in a low-frequency state of agitation. Harboring resentment and contempt erode your well-being and gives you no real control over external situations. Intrusive thoughts are fueled by resentment and frustration, the repetitive, unwanted mental loops that dominate consciousness. Chronic negative emotions strengthen neural pathways between the amygdala and hippocampus, making these thoughts more persistent. The brain's default mode network is active during self-referential thinking and becomes overactive during rumination, consuming all of your cognitive resources. The energy drain is why the healed version of you doesn't waste effort on retaliation. Your higher intelligence knows that clarity is what frees up your mental bandwidth for navigating intuition, creativity, and problem solving. The truth doesn't need a defense. It waits patiently for the seeker to arrive through clarity and coherence. Physiologically, intrusive thoughts sustain a stress response, lowering HRV and keeping the body in a state of tension. Over time, prolonged states of survival stress reinforce negative mental patterns and make it increasingly more difficult to break free without a deliberate shift in perception or perspective. Mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will, coherence is the disruptor. Coherent states prove that clarity is the antidote for negative emotional states. It's a frequency override, the disruptor of disconnection and chaos. In order to escape the poison of unhealthy thoughts and embody the still, reflective quality of water, we must consistently reframe our perception. Reinterpreting situations and reframing perspectives reduce the emotional impact. When we introduce new ideas, it calms the amygdala and engages the prefrontal cortex. Bottom line, reappraisal reduces stress without the cost of energy suppression. To break this cycle of toxic thoughts, we must embody emotional clarity by breaking free from resentment and contempt. Clarity's silent power occurs through the consistent practice of present moment awareness and the subtle shifts of coherent perspectives. This is how you break free from what fuels intrusive thoughts and low-frequency states of stress. Instead of resentment and contempt, become like water, still, reflective, and immovable, rooted in a calm, clear perspective that conserve energy and foster resilience. Clarity, adaptability equals coherence, unyielding, equals sustainable state, reflective, equals transformation, unstoppable. In a world that demands fire, choosing to be water is a radical act of strength. It's not about being passive, but about seeing clearly and standing firm and flowing around obstacles with grace. By cultivating emotional clarity through mindfulness and reappraisal, we can release the poison of unhealthy thoughts and embrace a life of grounded, transformative power.
Good job, Emily.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right, so do we want to, Melissa?
Yes, if anybody has any questions before we get into the guided meditation that Angie's going to lead us through, then go ahead. It sounds like everybody's ready to dive into the meditation. I can just say that just, listening to everything today, it really does help quickly point out some things recently that has been going on with me. So this is wonderful work, Jamie.
You're up, Ange.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the meditation. So let's go ahead and just take 1 minute to look around and get comfortable. Find yourself in a state of either lying down or sitting, whatever feels comfortable. And let's begin. So the purpose of this guided journey is to help targeted survivors interrupt ruminative thought loops, organize their mental workspace, and reclaim cognitive agency using a non-dual somatic and self-governing approach. Welcome, everyone. Let's begin by finding comfortable position. Seated, feet flat, on the ground, or any posture that feels grounded and good for you. If it feels safe, gently close your eyes and soften your gaze. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Noticing the air moving through you, the weight of your body in a chair. You are here in this moment, and in this space is yours. Today we're going on a journey to organize your mind, release what traps you, and claim your cognitive sovereignty. Let's begin. Bring your attention to your body. Notice where you feel grounded, maybe touching the floor, your hands resting in your lap, or the rhythm of your breath. Let's anchor here. Place your hand on your heart or your belly, whatever feels comforting. Feel the warmth of your hands, the rise and the fall of your breath. This is your body, your ally, and your safe space. As you breathe, imagine a soft, grounding light spreading from your hands through your body. This is light. It's steady and calm and is yours. If your mind feels chaotic, like a desk piled with papers, know that you don't have to fix it all right now. Just breathe. And feel this light anchoring in. Inhale and exhale. You are present and you are enough. Now picture your mind as an office, a workplace that's yours to organize. It might look cluttered right now with papers scattered, drawers overflowing, or sticky notes everywhere, and that is okay. This is your space, and you have the power to shape it. Imagine a desk in front of you. On it, you see all the thoughts and feelings that have been looping, maybe fears, maybe memories. No worries. Notice one thought that feels heavy, one that takes you circling back. You don't have to dive in it. Just name it. Maybe it's, I'm not safe, or I can't move forward. See it as a piece on a paper of your desk. Now imagine a set of folders on your desk. Each folder has a label like fear, strength, hope, or unresolved. Pick up the heavy thought, this piece of paper, and place it in the folder where it belongs. Maybe it goes in fear or unresolved. You're not erasing it, you're organizing it. Notice how it feels to give it a place, to take control. If it helps, imagine adding a tab to that folder, naming a specific trigger or memory. You're sorting the chaos and creating the space for clarity. Take a slow breath as you do this. Inhale. Exhale and feel your hands on your heart or your belly, grounding you as you organize. Let's work with that thought you placed in the folder. This is where we practice self-governance. Taking charge of your mind. We'll use 3 steps: reflect, reject, or redirect. Reflect. Look at the thought on the paper. Ask yourself, is this thought mine? Does it serve me? Notice where you feel it in your body. Maybe it's tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach. Just observe without judgment. This thought is a visitor, not your truth. Take a deep breath and feel your body holding you as you reflect. Now decide if this thought belongs in your workspace, if it traps you, if it fuels powerlessness. You can let it go. Imagine crumpling that paper or setting it aside in a release folder. As you do, try a somatic release. Shake your hands gently, roll your shoulders, or exhale with a soft sigh. Let the energy of that thought leave your body. Say to yourself, I release what does not serve me, and feel that lightness that comes in as you let go. Now choose a new thought to place in that desk, one that empowers you. Maybe it's an I'm building safety, or I am in control of my mind. Imagine and picture writing that thought on a fresh piece of paper and place it in that folder labeled strength or truth. As you do, anchor it in your body and press your feet into the ground and feel your breath, or tap your chest gently and say the new thought to yourself softly or in your mind. I am. And you choose your thought. Feel it settle into your body and mind as one. Breathe deeply, inhaling and exhale as you're governing your mind and claiming your cognitive rights. As you stand in your mental office, imagine a protective shield around you, a mental firewall. The shield filters out intrusive thoughts, external triggers, and anything that tries to disrupt your peace. Picture it growing strong and flexible, letting only what you choose in. If a ruminative thought tries to enter, maybe the same heavy thought from before, see your firewall catch it. You decide if it gets a folder or if it gets sent away. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. Take a moment to strengthen this firewall, inhaling and imagining it growing brighter. And then exhaling and letting go of any tension. Now place a sign on your desk that says, "This is my sovereign place." Feeling the power of that statement in your body. Maybe in the strength of your spine and in the steadiness of your breath. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are their governor. As we prepare to leave this mental workspace, know that you can return here at any time. This office is always yours, a place to sort, release, and redirect. Take one last look at your desk. See the folders you've created, the clarity that you've built. Feel the grounding light in your body, the firewall protecting your peace. Make a quiet commitment to yourself. I claim my cognitive rights. I choose clarity and coherence. Seal this commitment with a somatic action. Place both hands on your heart and take a deep breath. And stand tall. Feel this commitment rooting in your body and your mind. When you're ready, bring your awareness back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a slow breath and gently open your eyes if they were closed. You are here, you are powerful, and you are sovereign. So we're going to go ahead after this, and you've come back into your body. We're just going to go ahead and take a moment to journal anything that comes up, any thoughts, as you sort, release, or redirect. And if there's anything you guys would like to share.
That was beautiful, Angie.
Mm-hmm. So with this practice, just taking the 5 minutes every single day and journaling for your own time in your own space will really rewire you back into your own body and your own sovereignty.
I really enjoyed the meditation. I felt very connected to source and lots of, high vibrational energy, lots of just non-directed deep breaths and emotional release. I know that I was definitely releasing in this meditation, which feels so good because you feel so much lighter. And it's so important to make time for yourself when things are coming up, and just practice this so that you can categorize it and release it, and then reinforce it with something positive and something new. For everything that you release, you enter in something good to replace it. It was very powerful. Thank you, Jamie. This is wonderful.
So I'll go ahead and say a few things for the sake of transparency and authenticity. I'm really struggling today. I feel that I'm unable to articulate myself. However, I'm going to muddle through it. We purposely designed the layout today for us to have a discussion after the meditation, so everybody would be grounded and rooted in their peace, so we could, have a little bit more of a calm conversation. So I've been working with some TIs very closely during the week, and after we did the resonance mapping, I noticed there was also another class that happened simultaneously where implants were removed. And I think the combination of working Poli-Si methods and this class, somehow there was a correlation. So it really brought up a lot for someone that I was working with, to a point where it was overwhelming. And it really brought things into perspective for me. And I branched out and more looked at the multi-layered aspect of things, being our cognitive rights are under attack. It's become increasingly relevant, where technologies influence, monitor, and alter our mental states. So I was working with this person, and I noticed that she was going back into the narratives of her targeting experience. And I recognized her behaviors in past behaviors of myself. And I was like, she's ruminating. So I just wanted to bring forward the fact that we're probing the subconscious mind for the unconscious defense mechanisms, and that's stirring things up. How I always say, like, we're stirring the bees, or trying not to get stung, but we're poking and prodding. So this was a surge of energy that came up through her that needed to be dealt with. So I really want you guys to look into rumination and the implications of that, because I really took the time and mapped things out. I know you can't see this map, but this is what I've been working on this week, which has led to how I feel right now. Because what happened is, when we map things out and we organize the mind and we put it into perspective, we're then dealt with having to deal with the emotions of it. When we live inside these narratives, we disassociate and we step into these other worlds where we just keep perpetuating the problem. We're not really focusing on what we can do for the solution, which is process out how we feel about these things. So I helped this person map out her targeted journey. We pieced a lot of things together. We looked at things that we could prove and things that were just, constantly kicking around. And we put together the map, and she saw it for what it was, which was really like a blow to the gut. I use the analogy, you're taking care of someone who's been sick and they're going to pass away. But once they pass away, it's devastating anyway. And really, that's what we're dealing with. As targeted individuals, you're trapped below complexity, uncertainty, and vulnerability. And we're basically living cycles of fear, anger, frustration, resentment, contempt, which then create secondary effects, which is basically sensory overload, overwhelm, powerlessness, emotional instability, a chaotic mind. All of these things have implications. So this was really an indicator to me as to why we need to process out these emotions, why we need to face these fears head on. And, when you're dealing with the voice to skull, or you feel like you're under siege, you really need to stop and move into it and work with the maps that we've been giving you, the problem-solving formulas. Go back and read, work through the Poli-Si template, present moment self-awareness, emotional honesty, self-accountability, bringing in more empathy, self-compassion. Anyway, I'm rambling, and like I said, I'm stuck in a funk right now. I can't really articulate what I need to say, but I'm just going to surrender to this and hope that everybody reads the material, goes back on the video, and works these processes, because we're really building on the resonance mapping, and having an organized mind is very, very important. Without it, we can't do the resonance mapping. And also, for those of you who are preparing court cases, you need to organize. You need to be able to prove facts, provable facts, versus opinions and experiences, because you really need to just get everything in order and process it out. And next thing you know, this work is multi-layered. So you're not only working through your self-healing, but you're making sense of the targeting experience, putting things in perspective where they need to be, and moving forward into problem solving versus constantly ruminating, disassociating, stepping into these anger, resentment, contempt, poison. We have to get out from underneath that. So that's why taking time, doing this work, thinking about your thinking. What thoughts am I thinking? What feelings are attached to that? What emotions are underneath that? What's the belief that's attached to it? Sorting through your beliefs. I've said all this before. I don't want to, sorry. Take it away, Melissa.
No, all of that was very good. Major, everything that embodies, the teachings of the Poli-Si. And today's classes, I think it's very, to me, the meditation of the desk and the filing system is very powerful, and it puts the reactive or the stressor in a neutral where you can label it, categorize it, and then release it. I just envision myself wadding it up into a trash can and a flame taking it. So that was very good, and I felt relief from it. So I think today's teaching was very powerful. They always are. And again, for those who may be new to joining in on these teachings, this is our third in the counterintelligence, but prior to that, there was counterterrorism for the Poli-Si method for targeted survivors. All of the videos are available on Chosen Heroes YouTube channel. Jamie has also created a YouTube channel. Yours is under Quantum Reality Studies, correct?
Yes.
So there's two places where you can access those videos. Again, if you're new to joining and you would like the previous documentation, all you have to do is shoot me an email at chosen_heroes@proton.me, and I can catch you up on the ones that you're missing. But the videos are all out there. The email would be for the accompanying documentation, which everybody, that is on the distribution list. And I know that TI Events also announces this teaching as well. So again, if you're new and you may not be on the distribution list, which, those on distribution list get the documentation and the video link. So please email me or Jamie, and so you can get on the distribution list so that you can receive the materials. And you will also get upcoming notifications for a future class. So with that in mind, Jamie, do we want to go ahead and look at when the next class will be?
Sure. 2 weeks.
So 2 weeks from today is going to be on the 23rd of August.
I'm sorry, August what?
23rd.
Okay. And guys, reach out. I love hearing from you. I'm very excited to work through the resonance mapping with you, sitting down, teaching that step by step. Any questions about our processes, feel free.
And those new to joining, you can reach out to Jamie, and she offers a free hour session, working session, to kind of guide you through the processes or answer any questions. And you can reach her at quantumrealitystudies@yahoo.com. If anybody would like to come off mute and has any questions or comments before we close out for today.
I want to end with one thing. Go back to session 2, go through the defense mechanisms, get your definitions down, understand when you disassociate. We're working on suppression and repression blocks. So that's why the ruminating thoughts are coming in. They're more powerful. It's not that they haven't been there. It's that you're just starting to notice them because you've done just enough work that you're like, oh my God, what the hell's going on here?
Goodness.
Which I have to laugh. This one person that I've been working with, she's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. This is hard. I'm like, trust me, it's hard. Well, she went through this last episode, and I said, remember you said that you didn't think this was hard? I said, now what do you think? And she was like, oh my God. She had a huge trauma release. I mean, it came up through, it took me 2 days to recover from that. It took her 2 to 3 days to recover also. But these energies are so thick and heavy. They're demonic. That's the only way to explain it. Demonic. You are having to feel demons come through you. I mean, that's really the best analogy I can give it, because that's exactly what it feels like. It's like the body just becomes it becomes overwhelmed. It's sensory overload, but it has to come out because, we're stirring up the bees. We're throwing little pebbles at the bee's nest, and, we're trying to get a hold on things because, and I do think that implant removal brought a lot of stuff up, so that's why it's important. Organize the mind, because again, you're playing a four-handed ping pong player and you only have one paddle. So you have to take yourself out of the game and study each shot that's coming at you, because it's the same tactics every time. It's manipulation, it's disassociation, repression, suppression, projection. All ego defense mechanisms are coming up. They're uprooting.
So for those in the targeting community, when implant can mean several things, like physical, one, but what Jamie was referring to was energetic implants that we have within us. And Dr. K had recently did a two-part workshop on releasing the Jehovian seals, which are those energetic implants that run on the left, and then there's a set of seals that run on the right side, so the masculine and the feminine side, that correlate with, oh my gosh, I'm just blanking out, with the energetic, the magnetic of the earth and the north and south pole and ley lines of the earth, all of that stuff. So I participated in it, and a few others did as well, and I had some stuff coming up for certain. I was like, this has to be some release. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. If you want to learn more about the Jehovian seals, you can definitely check the Chosen Heroes X page. I have a PDF that was created by Dr. K that explains them. Also, she was a former recent guest on the Chosen Heroes, and she discussed that in the podcast. So you would just look for Dr. K, and you can learn more about it. But when this is all energy work, we are nothing but energy and frequency, and we do when we are awakening and we are accelerating into greater levels of consciousness and awareness, which is imperative for this, to combat this targeting program, then exactly those demonic forces don't want to keep us tethered and anchored and suppressed. And it is like once we are digging into it, then the resistance comes, and then knowing that we have to continue to fight through this for to reclaim our agency, to reclaim our mind, and to not be suppressed or controlled, and to heal. That's that's what we have. We are more powerful than what we give ourselves credit for. And the inner healing is that light at the end of the tunnel for this experience. Because once we become where we are in a state of pattern recognition of what this program does, leveraging all of our fear, trauma, and past experiences, and we're healing and releasing that, then we're letting go of the strongholds that are within us and that they leverage against us. So again, I appreciate everybody joining today. We will regroup on August 23rd at the same time, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So any final thoughts, questions?
Yeah, can you send me the lady's name, or she's put her number in the chat, and I didn't catch that.
I have it written down.
Guys, we appreciate you being on this journey with us, making sense of the nonsensical.
We're all in this together.
Yep.
We're a very important part of, raising the global consciousness. When we heal ourselves, then we are raising the vibration globally. So it's just think of it as that, we understand that the rest of the world may not be aware that they are being targeted as well, and we are. So we have that responsibility to help and go inward and to heal ourselves so that it spreads out like waves amongst the earth, and so that others can start to heal and to ascend and to get greater levels of connection with Source and healing. So
we have to claim those cognitive rights, and this is ultimately how we claim it. Claim your sovereignty, take full control of the mind, self-governing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and God bless, and thank you for your attention.